Hello, Shrewdness fans. Welcome to the podcast. Dex and Chiz are with me tonight. I'm Prue. We're going to talk about Guillotine Fantasy Football and
Woohoo!
Week 10 results and the make or break Week 11. There's a lot of buys this week, which Dex will get into.
That's right.
And
It's a big bye week. A big bye week. So, question is, do you have your heads? I mean, the reason Lewis isn't here this week is because he actually lost his head, and I think he says he's quote working, but I think it's more just mourning. I think it's more of the sad effect of your guillotine season coming to an abrupt close. He saw the writing on the wall. About halfway through the day on Sunday. He was like, "This is not looking good."
Yeah, it was trending bad and got worse. I mean, it's a rough go. Sometimes you see that, right, and you have the bad week, but there's nothing coming. I mean, it was really over. I mean, the late games on Sunday didn't do much. And then Sunday night, he was really hoping for 40 points from Tyreek Hill. At the end of the day, when that's what you're hoping for, and it's possible.
It could happen.
Jamar Chase showed that it is possible to get.
It is possible,
but it was also a historic game. I mean, likely to be made twice in a week. And Tyreek hasn't been Tyreek,
right?
Those things.
And so he was the first out after relegation, so he's
that's the
done.
Worst.
Which is the double whammy. I actually think besides going out first, which is definitely the worst, going out the week after relegation is probably second worst because you're like, can't even get to do a fun draft again.
No, that's the thing. So now we'll kind of use your team, Chisholm. I think is kind of like Team Shrewdness for the.
Yes, sir. Team Shrewdness and relegation.
But for Lewis's team, we'll rehash how he lost his head. He lost his head because he had the Slim Reaper, and I won't even say my name for him. Probably not PC, but it's Slim, all right. And it starts with R. But yeah, so he gave him 3.4 in a 34-6 win. He gave you 2 catches.
He got 2 catches for 14 yards.
And
that was against Dallas, who's basically decided they're not going to play anymore this year.
And you know who else got under 10 points that game? Saquon
Barkley.
Jalen Hurts just steals all the points.
And that's why he's available in multiple leagues this week. So Saquon is out there for you guys because he screwed a lot of people. That's right. But it's the first time he screwed you, so what it is. Lewis also had some, I don't know why, I guess I know why he had to start him. He just didn't have anyone else this week. But Javonte Williams, I wanted nothing to do with a running back against Kansas City's rush D. I want nothing to do with it. So 2.7 points. And he's benched now. I mean, frankly, he's not going to be the starter anymore. That hurt. And then DeAndre Swift gave an underwhelming performance against New England at home. They only scored a field goal. I think Caleb Williams.
They put up 3 against New England.
Yeah, he's turned into a pumpkin, and with that, the entire Bears offense is just melted into the background.
And they fired their offensive coordinator this week.
Because
which was only about 10 weeks too late.
I was going to say, it's brutal. And then his other running back, Tony Pollard, his problem was that Tyjae Spears came back. Yeah. And they also ran into the buzzsaw of the Chargers defense, which is also pretty good. Yeah. It's underrated. So that was 10 points. Just a lot of underwhelming. Tank Dell did not take advantage of his position. So Nico didn't even come back. Stephon Diggs is out. It's Tank Dell and Tank Dell alone. And
you only have 5 catches.
Yeah, 5 catches, 39 yards. That's not going to get her done. So at the end of the day, our Lou Manchu, the doctor's in the house. He came up 18 points short from next.
The only thing that he has...
It's been like that every week. So there's been a team that has been usually far off from next up.
It's the only solace that he can take, and we've talked about this before, but the only solace he could take is no one on his bench could have saved him.
No.
So he was cut by around 18 points. He had
his entire bench over would have saved him. the entire bench would have played. And I'll throw this out. F.T. Higgins. There you go, Lou.
That's for you, Lou.
It's absolutely true. So here's the thing. But for T. Higgins pulling his quadricep a couple weeks ago, he would have been a part of that humongous 35-34 Cincy game on Thursday, which was epic, where you have Jamar Chase getting 280 or something stupid.
Right.
And you'd think, there was a lot of passing going on. I think Joe Burrow threw for 400 or something, and T. Higgins would have been a part of that. So that really hurt. And then it's just a bad week to have Jaden Reed on bye. Sometimes everything is hit you at the exact wrong time. And Tyreek Hill and his wrist, and he was questionable. I mean, he got in the end zone, but he also had 3 for 16. I mean, that's just not. And
which is insane. Guy. Which is insane to me. I don't know if you guys are Tyreek holders.
No.
I don't know if Tyreek is starting to reach, the stage where he's not going to be the Tyreek of old, or if it's just simply a fact of, the offense.
He looked open to me, man. He looked open.
I know.
Times down the seam. Why did Tua not throw there? I think he's got some head injury or something. He can't see past 10 yards now.
I agree.
I'm not a Tua fan. I don't think he can throw the deep ball.
No, I agree. I always thought he was a bit of a rag arm.
He can throw it accurately, but he can't zip it.
But last year he did.
Yeah, but it seemed like a lot of the way Tyreek got big plays last year were on little screen and one block and boom, he's gone. Or quick slants or he didn't get any of didn't get a lot of the old Mahomes deep ball passes like he had in Kansas City. He's probably, I don't know if you guys saw, but a few weeks back he posted a little montage of highlights on his Twitter feed of him on the Chiefs from his times on the Chiefs, and people thought it was a little hey, please let me go back. Right, it was before the trading deadline.
He had a little McCole Hardman jealousy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So and then so my team in the same league, I kind of was projected for the top score in the league, and then once again finished 5th, which is, it's fine, man. I'll keep finishing 5th until there's 5 teams. Then I don't want to be 5th anymore. I'd like to be a little bit higher. Right. But I had a lot of underwhelming performances, ironically, by my 2 best guys. So I had Saquon Barkley and Justin Jefferson that didn't even get me 10 points, either one of them. So Saquon delivered 8.8, and everybody out there knows that. If you have them, hopefully you kept your head. Then you had Justin Jefferson 5 for 48. That's it. And then
that'll usually get you chopped when your 2 guys like that go that little. But you had a huge game out of Purdy.
Yeah, Brock Purdy was a big pickup, so I scooped him up last week off the waivers, and he got 23.8. That was nice. James Cook was just fine. 80 yards and a touchdown. That's fine. Cooper Kupp, again, why you like these high floor guys? 7 for 80. No touchdowns, but there's 15 in the book, baby. Right. Najee Harris, it's nice having the goal line guy. So, again, only 53 yards, but when you got the guy usually the one falling in from the 1 yard line, that's good. I hate it when they pull him and put in Jalen Warren. And I really hated it when Fields was there, but now it's just Russell Wilson. He ain't putting his head in there. So Najee Harris should get a little tick up for goal line carries. Tyrone Tracy, I think, is still a great back, and a lot of people are going to be missing him this week. Another 100-yard performance. I think it's 3 out of 4 games he's had 100 yards. He's good. I consider him an RB1.
He's legit.
In question. Then Trey McBride had, again, high floor tight end, not even a great day, but 4 for 71 gets you 11. And it's just, as long as you don't get those 0s and 3s that we're throwing out, it adds up to just enough. So 110 points last week, keeping the head on, and was not comfortably ahead of everybody else. Right behind me is 109, 104, 100. So but then just unfortunately Lou had not a great week. So 82, we were all no one was really sweating this week.
Yeah.
There was no Monday Night Theater.
No, there was not.
As we roll through, so I know Pruitt kept your head, did just fine. How'd your week go?
Yeah, so I kind of had a bailout week. There's a dude in our league that just drafted really well, but has done nothing with his team. Literally just, I think, abandoned his team. So he was starting Stephon Diggs and Keon Coleman and Brock Bowers this week.
That's a donation train.
So, I mean, he did have Bijan Robinson that scored 30, and that's pretty much it. So he only had like 62 points.
Ouch.
So I finished with 96 because I took a big fat 0 from Nico Collins.
Oh yeah, you got screwed with a super late game, and
didn't have anybody else
play.
Oh, he's probably in there, but no, he's not.
So I practice all week. I ain't playing though.
Right.
So had I known that a little earlier, I would have thrown either Ladd McConkey or Marvin Harrison in there. Either one of those would have got me over 100 points, but I still got 96, despite Saquon's under 9 and C.J. Stroud again under 10.
You got to dump Stroud, man. I'm going to keep ringing this bell for you until you do it.
So I got Baker, but he's on bye this week. I'm trying to pick up Jaden Daniels, who just got the chop.
Yeah, I think that's an in-game player. We talk about it week after week. Jaden Daniels in-game. Josh Allen in-game.
If I can roll the rest of the season with Jaden Daniels and Baker Mayfield, I'll be a happy man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right.
So now Josh Allen is out there because Lou's out. But at the same time, I mean, I got Brock Purdy and Pat Mahomes. And Pat Mahomes in November, December, as we know as Chiefs fan, is hard to beat.
It's a good situation.
And Brock Purdy's got a healthy team finally, except Ayuk. But I don't think he loses much. I know he's out. But Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, they're just fine. To go with Tebow and CMC back healthy, so I'm not really that concerned. I feel pretty good each week. I don't really need a bid on him, but I don't want somebody to get him for free either. So I'll probably put out a modest bid tonight to make sure no one scoops him for nothing.
Right.
Get him for free 50. But other than that, how did week 1 go for relegation, Chisholm?
Well, I kind of got lucky. I feel like I didn't have a great week. I survived. The team that got eliminated had a really good team, and it just goes to show how everything can break against you. Because, I mean, if you look at the team that got eliminated this week, he had Saquon Barkley, he had Deebo Samuels, he had AJ Brown. He had guys that were like, you're like, man, this is
in-gamers, man. He had
in-gamer.
Yeah.
And you look at the box score. If you saw just the scoreboard, you got home from a trip on Sunday night, you saw the scoreboard, you're like, wow, the Eagles put up a bunch of points, I should be good. And neither AJ nor Saquon top 10. So that puts you in jeopardy. So, I kind of had a middling week, but I finished 3rd from the bottom. Still feel good about the position, but now the crazy part is, for those of you who are, a lot of people are going to be in this scenario. Saquon's out there for a lot of people now.
Yeah,
because he underperformed 1 week. And that's all it takes. So now you're sitting there, and your strategy right now is, we've talked about in-game guys. Saquon Barkley is absolutely an in-game guy.
Oh, absolutely. He's top 3 running back. I mean, no matter how you want to put him in order, he's one of the top 3.
He is. So if you're in the running right now and you've got a shot, he's a guy who I would consider breaking the bank for. Depending on your situation and what else you've got, there aren't a lot of running backs is the thing. There aren't a lot of running backs who put up consistent points, and he does. So if I'm out there...
he's been below 10 twice. He's been above 30 3 times. So,
that's he's like usually hanging around 20s.
That's crazy. I mean, if you that really is, that's wild. From a points per game standpoint, it's basically Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, and him then. So, and Alvin Kamara, believe it or not, who this guy that got eliminated also had. So he had 3 and 4 on the running backs, and they both underperformed this week. So you got to have your head on a swivel. Never think you got it set. Make sure you're following the injury reports at this time of the year big time, because guys drop out at the last second. I've almost gotten to where in Guillotine, if there's a guy who's questionable or they're like, oh, is it game time? He's just off the radar for me. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing game time, especially like what Pruitt had to experience.
Oh, it's brutal.
Miko's playing. Just kidding. It's Sunday night, and you better have someone to dump, and you better pick up John Mechie. And if you don't, God, zero could kill you some weeks.
That's right.
I mean, a lot of weeks. Normally, you don't have that much cushion. Like, I didn't need that player at all. I mean, that's pretty darn rare.
That's right.
So, all right. As we look forward to this week, though, so that's kind of the recap from last week. Here's what's going to be hurting people this week. So we got bye weeks for 11. We've got Arizona. So you're going to lose Kyler Murray, James Conner.
It's a bye again.
It is. It's one of them. And next week's worse. But this week, so again, Arizona, Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride. I mean, Conner's a top 10 running back. Murray's an up and down quarterback, but he's probably starting for people. Marvin Harrison's either in a flex spot or maybe a starting wideout for you. And if you have McBride, he's starting every week for you. So that's going to be some tough ones to fill. Carolina, really only one person, Chuba Hubbard, but he's a good one. So that's going to be a big hole to fill. We got the New York Giants, which they may suck, but Tyrone Tracy, as I alluded to, I mean, that dude, I consider him an RB1. Malik Neighbors, he's right up there.
Yeah.
He's a WR, he's certainly a 2. Certainly a flex if you got that good at wideouts. Wan'Dale Robinson also is sneaky good that we discovered last week when we just started looking at the stats. He's up there. Like, and
he is.
You wouldn't think. But he runs numbers and look at games. Yeah, and I think
it's all the targets.
Yeah, Pruitt was looking at
it Pruitt.
And he was averaging 7 targets a game or something stupid? It was a lot. I was
I'll look
floored
what it
by
is
how
after
many
this
it was.
last week, but it's
last week probably hurt, but
he's up near the top because he, like we talked about, he plays an insane number of downs. Like he's on the field
like
all
every
the
snap.
time, so.
And when Neighbors was out, I mean, he didn't miss anything. And Sterling, not sure. I can't even remember the other Giants guy. I'm just blanking on him right now. But regardless, there's no one else you really want to start. So Neighbors, Tracy, and Wan'Dale Robinson are out. And then Tampa Bay is the last team, which, again, they lost Evans and Godwin, which are the main ones. But Baker's still a top quarterback. Cade Otton has been a very good tight end of late. And then both running backs, Irving and White, they've been doing great. So did so many checkdowns, especially losing Godwin and Evans, that those guys have been getting some work all around. So splitting carries and getting a lot of catch out of the backfield. And frankly, they've been on the field together quite often in the last few weeks. So those are going to be some big holes to fill, which brings us in to our Shrewdness Sleepers. So, gentlemen, we've got to help out ourselves. We've got to help out our listeners. Hopefully our opponents listen after pickups happen.
We'll make sure to publish this after the 2:00 deadline tomorrow.
That's right. So we may accidentally publish there, but we want to try and get it out. But yeah, unfortunately, for most of the time, it is what it is. But the ones we put out for you guys, they should be available regardless. And so we're still sticking to our 40% and trying to get 11 points out of each of these guys. So recap on last week. So I gave you Xavier Legette against the Giants, and that just wasn't a very good game. Wasn't a good game.
Did you expect a good game between the Panthers?
That's kind of it, right? And so he had 3 for 40, so he didn't kill you. I mean, he kind of gave you Justin Jefferson numbers, if I'm being dead honest.
That's
so
true.
7 points. And then Chisholm, he had a pretty good pick. He almost hit it on the head. So Smith versus the Rams, he said he's going to get a good game and a tutty. His elbow was down at the half-yard line, or he would have
half-yard line.
That extra 6 and would have hit. So he was half a yard away from delivering, but 3 for 45, no tutty.
No.
7.5 points. So he was super close. Pruitt did deliver on Russell Wilson, just kind of cheating with a quarterback, but he
didn't just squeak by. He
went well over.
Points. He had better than my quarterback.
No, he did great. And Russell Wilson, so he did 195 yards, 3 touchdowns. He hit his new acquisition for the game winner with Mike Williams, who Shrewdness, we don't really like him that much, but he might be in a better situation now. But he is single-handedly, he's the enemy of up and down.
He's the Grim Reaper, man. You pick that dude up, and death is coming soon.
Yeah. And hell's coming with it. So I don't mess with him, but hey, when he makes the catches in real life, it's pretty helpful for the team.
He's playing with fire. That's what he
and
is.
Then Lewis, he gave us Roma Dunze last week, and just nothing, man. Chicago's dead. That offense is dead, and they could improve because they're at rock bottom right now. So really, they just fired their offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams looks like what we predicted at the beginning of the season. Hot, warm poop. He is garbage.
His nails look good, though.
There was a fluke at the beginning of the year, and we were kind of saying that, and we just couldn't believe he was doing as well as he was. And then here's what it was. The dude's 3 for 23. I mean, what do you do when your quarterback can't throw to you and their line's not doing real well? But whatever. So we only hit one last week. That's I believe our worst week of the season.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? Still, we always said it. You get 1 out of 4 on these picks. That's not bad.
Yep. And if you need a quarterback and picked up Wilson, good job.
That's right.
Nailed it. And again, the other guys didn't kill you. They just didn't give you what we're trying to give you. So
right.
That's where we're at. So going off that, Chisholm, you want to give us your Shrewdness Sleeper this week, going into week 11, because there's a ton of buys to fill.
And he is available in 99.1% of leagues right now. So I'm going deep for you fellas. But I think this is one that you're like, oh man, I got no chance. I don't have fab. I don't think I'm going to survive this week. I think I got something for you up my sleeve. Audric Estime. Audric Estime is looking like the guy in Denver now. He is running hard. Coach seems to like him. Javonte is not so much right now, as we were just talking about earlier. He's a rookie. He's got fresh legs, and he's playing Atlanta at home. So I think he's going to get in the end zone. He could get in the end zone a couple times. And I think he's probably going to get it, 50, 60 yards rushing. So I love picking up Estime right now. If you're in a league where you're looking for somebody and you don't have a lot of fab available, I think he is a great pick. So that is my Shrewdness Sleeper this week.
And Chisholm, is this a homer pick? We're just
No. Why would you say that?
I just want to make sure.
Why would you say that?
Have full transparency.
I mean, I don't even remember where he went to. I can't even. I
don't know. I feel like it had a golden helmet
somewhere in the Midwest. I think he's from somewhere in the Midwest, somewhere up in there. Oh wait, maybe it was. Right. He might have played for Notre Dame.
Golden Domer, which is Chisholm's kryptonite.
It is my kryptonite. So full disclosure, there may be slight bias in that pick.
But to back him up, I just want to poke that real quick. The honest answer is that he does appear to be the number 1 running back going into this week. And Las Vegas is a tasty matchup.
Right.
And Denver's mad that they just lost, especially on a block field goal.
Oh, my gosh.
We're not going to go there yet, but that's fun. But they are going to be pissed. And Las Vegas picks a bad time to roll up to the Mile High City to try and win a game against a pissed-off Denver team. And Sean Payton, he's not going to let up. I think he's going to try and score until they make him stop. Like it's going to go to 0 until he stops.
Payton did say after that game, he was like, I felt like we outplayed him, and they did, and they did, honestly. So I think they do have a little chip on their shoulder. They're 5-5. They really need to win, so they got a lot of motivation. They could very easily make the playoffs this year.
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot going there. So how about you, Dog? Who are we looking at from a sleeper stamp, or should we go to Dex?
No, I got one up.
Okay.
I'm looking at Quentin Johnston. For the Chargers. He's had a couple of good weeks in a row now. He seems to be gaining some favor with Justin Herbert. They're throwing the ball down the field, which is kind of his specialty. He had several long catches a couple weeks ago for a huge game.
Circa Mike Williams.
That's right.
And they're playing Cincinnati this week, who has given up some big plays.
They have
given up lots of points. So I like Quentin Johnston this week.
Now, I think that's a solid pick, and I agree. He's been stepping up, and he was a highly drafted rookie. 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I mean, he's been around a minute, but he hasn't really stepped into the role. I think he's finally stepping into that role. And the other thing I think is helping a lot is Justin Herbert. He's clearly healthy now. He looks 10
for sure.
times better than he did in September. Because you can go back to the old episodes, like, this dude is playing on a broken ass foot.
Yeah.
His ankle's jacked. He's got some weird ass stuff going on. He looked like it. But now he's running around. He's finding space. He's moving in the pocket. He's starting to hit dimes. Because Justin Herbert's good.
He's always had the talent, right?
That's it.
It seems they were so run heavy at the beginning of the season. I think they've figured out they can't just solely rely on the run either. They're going to have to throw the ball like every other NFL team does.
Right.
They can mix in some runs with J.K. Dobbins, but they're going to have to throw the ball.
That's it. All right. So I'm going to bring us home with, so we got you a running back, we got you a wideout, and now to fill in for those Trey McBride and Cade Otton holes you got to fill, I'm giving you a tight end. So I'm going to jump into the pile that's going to be available in Hunter Henry. So I think he's right at, I don't even know, 40% owned. So he's right at our top. But you're like, Dex, but this dude really blows, man. Like last week, the crappy Bears, you just told me how bad they were, and he had one catch for 14. You're trying to get my head taken off, bro?
You're trying to get me chopped.
That's it. So I've been team tight end all season. Last week is the first week I didn't start 2 tight ends. It felt weird. I felt creepy. I felt like I was cheating on my tight ends.
Right.
But this week, if you have one of those guys, you need to bench him. Hunter Henry, the previous 3 games, had 20 catches in 3 games with Drake May. So Austin Hooper got it last week. Why Austin Hooper? I don't know. Probably because they were doubling Hunter Henry the whole time. But they won't do it again. Jalen Polk got in for a touchdown. They're going to have to give attention to there. Demario Douglas. I think Hunter Henry has a great bounce-back game against the Los Angeles Lambs. I think it's going to be a good game. I think he's going to bounce back and give you at least your 12. I think he finds the end zone for you. I think he can be good, 15-pluser. So Hunter Henry, tight end, New England against the Rams. So that's our Shrewdness Sleeper. So to go through them again for summary, we've got, what's his first name? Audric Estime?
Audric
Estime, running back. Denver Broncos at Las Vegas. We got Quentin Johnston, wide receiver for the Chargers, home against Cincy. And then we got tight end Hunter Henry, New England, home against the Rams. So that's our 3 Shrewdness Sleepers this week. So go get them. Keep your head on.
That's right.
All right.
Hang in there one more week.
All right, let's pivot into the Spuds. So the Spuds, which we started off last week, horribly so. We recounted that. Listen to last
9,
week.
we were 0 for, right?
Oh my
we
God.
were
0
for
4, and it wasn't even close. Like looking at this gives me the heebie-jeebies. I get like chills. Like it's just not good.
It was bad.
Our Shrewdness Sleeper or Spuds last week. Again, I think they delivered 100 points by themselves with 4 players. But this week, if you stuck with us, like, man, these guys have been doing pretty good most of the time. Nailed it for you. All 4 of our Spud picks from last week were terrible. Putrid piles of underperforming hot garbage, missed projections by a ton. Probably lost your head if you have them.
That's right.
So here's what we got. So I think I started off with J.K. Dobbins, who'd been doing great. RB1. But I knew, and as I hinted, Gus Bus is back. Whenever
the
Gus
Bus
comes back, there goes the split carries. Now you got a 2-headed Hydra monster. And what happened? J.K. Dobbins, 50 yards, 3 catches for 5 yards. He delivered an underwhelming 8.5. So hopefully you sat him. I told you he'd be dog balls. He was.
Yeah, which is really off his pace because he had been
especially when they played
lot.
Tennessee and trucked him 27-17.
Yeah.
So we'll get into our gambling picks later. But it wasn't J.K. Dobbins doing it. So J.K. Dobbins hit number 1. Chisholm. He gave you a deep cut too. He's like, Alvin Kamara, he's been carrying you. He's taking you to the fantasy promised land. But he said, but not this week. You may, if you have a better option, go ahead and sit him this week. And here's why. Projected for over 20 points. Alvin Kamara, I think he was projected for like 25, if I remember correctly. He gave you 15.9. So he had 55 on the ground and then 5 for 54. So is he a complete louse? No. But if you're expecting 25, like he's been averaging almost,
right?
He did not deliver that for you.
That's
and
right.
really, it's because of one play. He dropped like a 60-yard touchdown.
Totally. He was wide open.
That would have been exactly his projection had he caught that 13
That's right.
points.
That's right.
But he didn't.
Yeah.
But he did not.
So he sputted out at a 15.9, which is under projections, I think, by 8 or 9 points. So nailed it. We're counting it.
Yep.
Pruitt, he gave you kind of an obvious one, but the thing is, I think it was still scary because you're not sitting him. So he gave you CD Lamb. He said, watch out for CD Lamb this week because Cooper Rush, I know he had some success previously, but he's not going to do it.
He did not have success this week, I'll tell you that much.
And so he was projected, I think, for 19 or 20. He delivered you 6 catches for 21 measly-ass yards, like 3.5 yards per reception. So 8.4 points of pure anemic, hot trash garbage is what CeeDee Lamb gave you. And he probably this week.
Although I will say, if Jerry Jones had lowered the curtains, he would have had a touchdown. I don't know if you guys saw the sun in the eyes where the ball was right to CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb had no idea where the ball was. He just kept running. It does
seem like a stupid thing for a stadium to do, especially the home team.
Yes.
Like, I think I would have those blinds that flip.
Well, the funny thing is, living here in Dallas, I happen to know that they actually close those blinds during concerts. So
they can close.
It can be closed, but the word on the street here in Dallas is a member of the Jerry Jones family doesn't like the way the stadium looks with them closed.
Oh,
so that's why they don't. They don't.
Brutal. Well, that worked out. Good job, Jerry Jones family.
Worked out well.
That making me look good on my pick.
Right.
But even if he would have had that,
it wouldn't have. Well, and what I've had the unfortunate, I had some friends over who were Cowboys fans and watched a lot of that game. That team's in trouble in a big way. Like Cooper Rush is maybe a great guy, but holy cow. He can't throw the ball. They didn't have any plays where he threw the ball more than like 5 yards down the field.
No, they may be going to Trey Lance quickly, and then that dude runs.
Yes.
So, I mean,
it's not good either.
We haven't seen enough about Trey Lance to know how well he throws. We'll see. He does one preseason game a year. I don't remember what week 2 preseason looked like, honestly, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
But so that was Spud 3-0. And then the final Spud, and this one probably did cost you a head if you didn't listen to us and bench him like we told you to. But Jaden Daniels, he's been just a boon for you this year.
Yeah.
Carrying you to victories and high scores every single week, but not at Pittsburgh. Or not against Pittsburgh this week. So he gave you 202 yards, no touchdowns, 5 pathetic rushing yards. He delivered 8.
Just unheard of from him.
8.58 points of nothingness.
Yeah.
What you got from Jaden Daniels this week. He's probably on the waiver wire for your opponents now if you started him. You should have picked up Russell Wilson. I don't know.
That's right.
An extra 10 points. But that's what we got. So that our Spuds last week, Dobbins, Kamara, Lambs, Daniels, all spudded out. We did it. So we're now back to 500. We did it.
We did it.
Like the Apple commercial. You did it.
We did it.
All right. And so this week we got some more Spuds for you to be aware of. If you're starting them and you're feeling good, just think about it. As Chisholm said, just ask the questions. See what else options are out there. But Pruitt, you want to start us off with your Spud of the week?
Yeah, I'm a little worried about Drake London going to Denver this week.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to have Pat Surtain all over him.
Even though Zay Flowers dealt with him appropriately, God, that was brutal.
Yeah.
Right.
But Drake's been a little banged up the last few weeks. He played well last week, 8 catches last week, but only 2 the week before. I think he left early, and 4 the week before that for 34 yards. So he's had a couple of kind of down weeks here lately. And then Denver's a tough place to go play this year. They've got a tough defense, and in particular when they play man-to-man, Pat Surtain is a pretty lockdown corner. So
no, I think that's a solid pick.
I think he
I like London.
Yeah.
I don't have him in my leagues, but I still like him. But yeah, it's the same rationale, right? I mean, Patrick Tan generally shuts people down. That Baltimore week, I think, was an aberration. Brutal. But he's projected for 14.75 this week, so just beware. He may not give you that this week.
That's right.
All right, Chisholm, what do you got for us?
Okay, I'm switching mine up. I had a couple guys in mind, but I'm switching mine up. I'm actually going with another prominent running back this week,
Okay.
Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson is going to Denver, and he puts up on average, his projection is to put up 18 points. I don't see it. Denver's rush defense looked really stout against the Chiefs. They shut down Kareem Hunt pretty well, which he hadn't been shut down by anybody. And the Chiefs' offensive line is really solid. Plus, you always get the altitude effect in Denver, which I don't think is helpful either for a guy who gets a lot of carries. So I'm going to go downside on Bijan Robinson, less than 18 points this week.
Even though he had 29.4 and had a baller game.
Even more so.
All
Why?
right.
I don't like running backs off a big game. Running backs off a big game, you rarely get two monster games from a running back.
I agree.
Had
So
over
we're really
20 points 5 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we're
your
really
decision.
Under 18.
all right.
You heard it here first.
Sounds good. All right, I'm gonna go for one that again, you guys are like, this guy is a complete idiot. I wish he would just stop talking and giving us any picks whatsoever. Except Shrewdness listeners, I've been kind of doing pretty well if you check my stats.
That's right.
So I'm giving you another one this week. I mean, but for Zay Flowers, who just went off and had his career day, I'm gonna go to his quarterback this week, Lamar Jackson. And you're like, what? Why would you say
But John,
that? You are an absolute idiot. God, you are so stupid. You don't
what
know
are you
anything.
thinking?
Why are you even doing this show? Just be quiet and
Right?
sit in the corner. So here's what I'm thinking. Did you know that Lamar Jackson's quarterback rating against Pittsburgh is 66.8? It is
66
worse against any team in the NFL he's ever played.
Really?
And so you're like, well, he probably like one bad game or something. No, 6 games, a measly 870 yards, 4 touchdowns, 7 picks. That's his history. He's 1-3 versus Pittsburgh in the regular season. 1-3.
So you're saying Tomlin's got the special sauce. Tomlin knows what's up.
He knows how to beat him. Whatever they do, they do it. And they seem to do it every single time. He hasn't beat them since 2019, I don't think.
That's
we're going back
rough.
5 years, the last time Lamar stood on the sideline starting. I mean, I'm sure Baltimore won with a backup probably. Probably Tyler Huntley beat him or something stupid. But not Lamar. Lamar hasn't done a kneel down, and they're going to Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh, again, they're in win mode. They have to, especially interdivisional game.
Absolutely.
They can't let them get away. Right now, Pittsburgh's right there. And Russell, the love muscle, he's going to keep this game close. And I think that defense, Lamar Jackson's going to be far under his 22.7 projection.
Okay. All right.
So I think he's going to be half that. So that's my spud. It's a shocking one. I know he probably won't do it. But if you have a better option, I'd look to it because history tends to repeat itself. Teams can't beat.
And I will say that, Lamar is prone to one of these games every so often.
It is. And it's usually against Pittsburgh.
And he just had a huge game.
He did. That's the thing. Coming off 33 points last week. That's why I know. I get it. And that's the thing. That's another reason why I think so. Pittsburgh, man, tough place to play. I think it's going to be a tough game.
I like it.
That's our spud. So our spuds, kind of give a summary again. We got Drake London is going to underperform. Along with his teammate Bijan Robinson, they're going to have a rough go going to altitude against Denver. And I'm giving you Lamar Jackson on the road at Pittsburgh. I say he's not going to have a great game. He's going to underperform projections. So try and find a backup that can overperform for you. That'd be fantastic. So that's our Shrewdness Spuds. All right, let's pivot into our Gambling picks. I know, that's what's funny. We probably do have sound effects on this thing.
There's probably a way.
We jacked around with them earlier, but now I don't remember where they are.
There's probably a way. We just haven't figured it out.
So we'll just keep doing our spuds.
Sleeper.
All right, let's go into gambling picks.
All right, let's do it.
So gambling picks.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, man. Nailed it. So another middling week of
2-2.
But this week, Shrewdness listeners, if you followed us and so what we do is we take an individual, I round robin them all, and then we teaser them. And so the teaser hit. Finally hit a teaser.
The teaser hit.
Teaser hit. So we're getting closer. We are
close enough
smelling
on
it.
all four that we at least got.
We're honing in. It's just taking us a little while.
So last week, Lewis gave us Pittsburgh plus 2.5 at Washington. They came through for us. It took a Hail Mary-ish kind of play to Mike Williams from Russell Wilson to do it. But the win, 28-27 over Washington.
Dub's a dub.
And Pittsburgh gives you the dub, baby. And I moneylined it, maybe. So I might have been really good.
Yeah.
And then Pruitt gave you one that I didn't like at the beginning, but I don't do anything. I don't veto it. And Pruitt's right a lot. So I'm like, well, I'm probably wrong.
It was close.
I really, really liked the Chargers last week to drub Tennessee. But it was a big line, 7.5 points, which is it. It's gnarly. We hate those lines because, that's
7 in the hook.
Screwed. It's going to be 7, and then we lose. But he took Tennessee plus 7.5. There were some opportunities there, but it really wasn't a close game if you watched it. But it ended up being a 10-point game, 27-17. Just wasn't there. Chargers ran out the clock. Dobbins and Gus Bus and Herbert. Quentin Johnson, our sleeper this week, had great games. So missed that one. Chisholm gave us another winner, though. So he had Philly -7. And even, I don't know if he actually laddered it, but we were kind of mocking the ladder.
I should have laddered it, but I didn't ladder it this week.
Yep. So -7, which, again, when it gets that high, we get a little nervous. But Dallas just hasn't shown it. It was Cooper Rush. Dallas at home, they've been underperforming there every single week. Have they even won a game at home this year? I don't even know. I don't think so.
I think one,
maybe one. And it's so forgettable, I can't even remember who it was.
But bad.
Philly just drubbed them 34-6. No thanks to the Slim Reaper who took everybody's head this week.
Right.
But 34-6, winner. And then I gave us one that should have been a winner. San Francisco -5.5 at Tampa.
Ugh.
I didn't know their kicker was not going to make any kicks, man. Like he missed.
Come on, Dex. You got to account for that.
3 field goals. And then at least he made the game winner to squeak through the uprights. But I was kind of hoping for overtime because I feel like San Francisco would have got the ball and just drubbed it and got 6 and covered it. But instead, the stupid kicker hadn't made anything all day. Kicks a game winner with time expired. So we only went by 3, 23-20, missed the 5.5. But had he made any other derpy-ass field goals the entire game,
we're in.
Would have covered. But, hey, hand grenades and horseshoes.
That's right.
So did not win that bet. So 2-2 last week. We were close. Missed by 2.5 points and missed by 2.5 points on each game, respectively. So teaser, we nailed it. Nailed the tease.
Yep.
But that's where we are going into this week. So this week, Chisholm, start us off with the first winner we're going to get.
First winner. I'm high, and I hate them. So you know that this is a true pick. I hate the Broncos. It's absolutely in my DNA. But they looked really good against the Chiefs. And while we generally have a theory that teams get beat up against the Chiefs, they don't look good the next week. Denver, I think, is going to be encouraged by that game, believe it or not. I think they're going to think we can play with the best team in the league, and we should have won that game at their place. Yeah. I think they're going to see that they have a chance at the playoffs, and if they make the playoffs, who knows what. And Atlanta's coming in hobbled and not looking so sharp right now into the Mile High Stadium. I think the crowd gets up, and I think Denver covers the -2. Lock it up.
I like it. Book it. Lock it.
Book it. Lock it.
Very consistent with our Spud picks.
It is. God, I hope we're right. We're going all.
We're either gonna kill it or absolutely get nothing this week.
We're either really, really right or really, really
wrong. That's right. That's right. Very, very, very wrong.
All right, Padog, give us our second winner.
Ooh.
Oh, he's been saving that one up.
Yeah, he has.
How come only Padog gets the effects? That's
I like
funny.
it.
It's because he knows how to find them. Damn it.
Transition 5.
That's right. That's right.
God, I love Transition 5.
That's my favorite.
It's awesome. So
let's turn it into a winner.
Favorite.
All right, so again, in line with our picks, or our Spud picks, I like Pittsburgh this week at home against Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said,
Plus.
I'm going to give they're +3, I think, at home.
I think 3.5 even. That's what I saw.
It was 3.5. I looked earlier today. It's down to 3.
Yeah, I looked at 3 on FanDuel right now.
All right. We'll take 3.
I know. I like 3.5. Though. I might buy the hook.
Grab it early. Grab it often. Pittsburgh at home and especially as a home dog, they are pretty tough to beat. So,
and they got a lot to play for right now too.
Right.
It is.
We talked about Lamar's struggles against them and so forth. So, full disclosure, I've already placed my bet on that one.
And I will be doing it, I don't know, maybe during this show, but shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
So I'm giving you one, and God, it almost hurts me to do it because the only time this derpy team has done well is when I bet against them. But it's like an immovable object, and the force, you can't stop. I mean, I got all this crap going on. I'm taking Green Bay -6.5 at Chicago. God, that's a lot of points to cover. Green Bay looked terrible. They just got fleeced the last game. Mm-hmm. You're right. They got trucked at home in the rain. It was not pretty. Jordan Love looked like dog bazookas. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. Which is exactly why I don't want this pick, which is why I think it's going to work.
Yep.
The problem is with Chicago, and we're doing all historical picks right here, is that they've lost 10 straight games to Green Bay. As Aaron Rodgers said, and then Jordan Love started carrying the mantle, we own you. Yep. We own you.
That's right.
And I think they're going to come back healthy, rested, 2 weeks to come down let's go beat on our little redheaded stepchild south of us real quick. Yeah. Get back on the winning ways. I think they drub Chicago. Chicago's in a turmoil. They're spinning out of control. I think so I bet against, so full disclosure, if you remember, if you've been watching all season, I bet against Chicago, I think 3 times out of 4 weeks, lost all 3. Caleb Williams played out of his mind, was just the best. MVP, Rookie of the Year. Everybody was talking how great he was. God, he's just not that good, though. I watched him play in college. I watched him play. He's not that good. Yeah. So I'm going to hope he's not that good this week, and that Green Bay trucks them. Because, boy, do I not like Caleb Williams.
You also wonder if Chicago's got anything left to play for right now. They're kind of they
screw their draft picks if they start winning.
Right. So yeah. I kind of like the pick, and I like it's a little zaggy.
It's zaggy. 6.5 points in an interdivision game. We talk about it all the time. They're almost always close, but boy, does Green Bay usually have their way with Chicago. It's like a home away from home for them.
That's true.
Legit 10 straight games. That's 5 straight seasons of crushing them.
That's
5 seasons. Was 2019 the last time the Bears had a win?
Yeah.
And
that's almost as long as the Chiefs' home winning streak against the Broncos.
I know, sometimes things just work out, right? So I think worst case, at least the tease hits. If they just win by 1 point at the end, there we go. Yeah. So whatever. I think Green Bay's going to have a great game. I think Jordan Love's going to have a bounce-back game because everybody thinks he sucks right now. And I promise you, Jordan Love doesn't suck.
No.
Jaden Reed doesn't suck. Romeo Dobbs doesn't suck. Josh Jacobs doesn't suck. That defense doesn't suck. I think they're going to truck Chicago. So that's my pick. All right. So
I like it.
Recap. We got
what do we got?
Denver -2, home against Atlanta. We got Pittsburgh, home dogs against Baltimore. And then we've got Green Bay going down to Soldier Field -6.5. Book it. Let's get a yacht this week.
Let's do it.
So, let's do it.
We got the yacht coming. I'm feeling it this week, guys. I'm feeling it.
That's it. And then I want to talk a little bit. So if you followed our socials, boy, were we so close to hitting our power parlays.
Oh, my goodness.
Parlays. So our Shrewdness Munich power parlay, if you're up early watching that and got our
wait a second. Saturday did you say parlay? What did you say there?
Power parlay. Isn't that our thing?
Power parlay? You mean?
Parlay.
Power parlay? Is that like a Minnesotan kind of thing that you just introduced there? Power parlay, eh? Is it a power parlay?
It's what it is. It's multiple bets that you have to win all the same. That's what we're going.
Oh, it's so true though. We have been really hot on these, so follow us because we're posting all these parlays, whatever you want to call them.
Where are you posting them, Chiz?
I'm posting them. You could follow us on X. You could follow us on TikTok. They're on TikTok. You can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram. The parlays are going up on all 4 of those socials. So check us out at The Real Shrewdness or Shrewdness, either one, depending on the handle. Check us out and follow.
Unlike these losers on these other networks and shame, they're not putting their real money in. We're putting our loots in every single time. So when you win, we win. You lose, we lose.
That's
so
right.
We're bankrolling these things ourselves. So
that's right.
Like the Motley Fool, they say we back with our own money. We here at Shrewdness also back our bets with real money. I'm
spending my kids' college fund on these bets.
Yeah, we didn't say we're winning all of them. We're just going to lose money with you. But it's more fun that way.
That's right.
Win together and
lose together.
And win together. So we're going to manifest one in, but we missed our Munich parlay by 1 stupid yard.
1 yard.
If he would have just gone out of bounds, we had 24.5 and he had 26. Boo.
Yeah.
But all the other ones hit. And then our Thursday night one, Deontay Johnson was just a ghost. Should have done anyone else but him, I guess.
Yeah. He was awful.
Chase and Brown were fantastic for hitting our bets. So Brown was under a rushing yard, so he might have had a good game, but under 54.
Yeah.
So we kind of nailed all those. But keep tracking those on our socials. Keep betting with us.
We hit one a couple weeks ago, and really, the odds on those are if you hit 1 in 10.
That's it. They pay for the rest.
You're good. So
yeah, because they're usually around a plus 1,000 by the time.
That's right.
So
That's right.
It's fun. But we'll keep doing those for you. It's been a lot of fun, kind of seeing your reaction to those. And like I said, we're gonna hit one. We're gonna hit one.
Absolutely.
Another one.
That's true. As DJ Khaled would say.
Maybe the worst thing we could have done is hit the first one.
Right. Exactly.
Well, Daniel Jones would just not try and be great.
So close.
1 yard. God, that's even worse when it's like, are you sure you marked that right, ref? Where was that ball when he
so
went?
Close.
Come on.
So close.
We also hit 2 last night in a laugher of a offensive game.
Yeah, we did.
Not much offense happening, and we still hit 2 of the 4. So
that's right.
That's true. All right, next week we should have Lou Man back. So Dr. Lou should come in, and he should be well recovered and just kind of long forgotten this week, this tragedy of week.
That's right.
And should be back. And then I think we're going to have another guest next week. So our Shrewdness Music, Scotty Morrison, the composer of that track, is going to join us. Because not only is he a phenomenal musician, he's also, he's pretty damn smart. We're going to put his bets in here because that dude might even do a Scotty special.
He's a renaissance man, if you will.
He is. He just knows his stuff. He knows his football. He knows his fantasy. He is a avid competitor and follows it really well. And he's going to give, I'm asking him to give us his Scotty special. So if you do daily fantasy sports, he puts in winning lineups regularly. Like, it's kind of a paycheck for him every Sunday. So if you do like head-to-head leagues, 10-person leagues, tournament leagues, he's going to give you a FanDuel lineup that's going to work. So we'll kind of go on one of those too. It's a lot of fun. If you're in a state that doesn't, Bovada doesn't do it, Chisholm, so you got to wait until Texas passes gambling.
That's right.
It's so weird. Join the rest of the country. It's kind of fun.
We will in 10, 12 years, something like that.
Missouri just joined the parade. I think we're 49 states out of 50 is like just one holdout.
Well, Texas will be holding out on gambling and weed. We'll be last on those two things.
That's out of principle. It's ridiculous. So we'll have a Scotty Moe next week. I want to thank our listeners. So Mike H. caught up on all the Shrewdness episodes.
Yeah, all of them.
So he's trying to catch up, and I think he's pining to be a guest. So
you never know.
What happens?
It may happen.
See how the cards play out there.
Especially since he's a diehard Cowboy fan, it could be really interesting. We could have some fun with him.
We are booking up fast on guest spots, so make sure if you are listening.
Right. I think the week after that, it's either going to be Herb Street or Manning. I forget which one.
Talk with their agents.
The problem is we have a conflict on Monday nights because Peyton and Eli are.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a problem.
They turned us down, but
we're fine.
Somebody else.
We're fine.
That's it.
Slate's full. Nope. Good luck to you guys. Keep your heads on, fellas.
Keep your heads.
Dex and I are hanging in there.
That's right.
Just a few more weeks, and we'll be in the final showdown.
That's right. That'd be sweet.
All right. Thanks, guys, for joining. Shrewdness listeners, appreciate all your support. Thanks for listening in this week. As
subscribe and follow.
Walked through weeks 10 and 11.
Absolutely.
Good luck this week. We will talk to you later. This is the Shrewdness Podcast signing off.